Alright folks, let's finish up 2022 by reviewing all the new 3D styles added to the game. Now you already know the scale, the rating score, it doesn't really matter, the points are made up, the scores don't matter, so it's for fun mostly. And there's actually 40 new styles added to the game, but we already covered like 15 of those earlier, so technicality, there's 23 new ones, and 2 sort of ones. They're like actual vehicles, not really styles, but we'll see. So I already covered a lot from the previous video, and a bunch of them were on the previous video, but here are the actual 40 candidates or skins for this year. So we'll cover the latter half, but if you want to look at the earlier part, go back to the original video for that one. Starting with the Type 59 skin. So this thing was available in the premium shop, but this looks like a Type 69 or 69-2. Lots of battle damage from autocannons or small caliber fires, battle damage from blown off side skirts, scratch marks, lots of tools or equipment on the back of the turret and back of the hull, SKS and fire extinguisher, but looks pretty nice. Desert combat, but I think this is like a 8.5 out of 10. It's very good. The only downside is it was for actual money, not exactly available in the game for mission base. And next, we have the new skin from Clan Wars for the 121B. So nice netting and foliage for the gun barrel, the side skirts and the turret, but looks jungly. So for jungle combat, additional equipment for the back of the turret and back of the hull, but looks pretty nice still too. So I will give this thing a 8.25. I would like to see more stuff on the hull, like more machine guns or crew equipment, more characteristic to this vehicle, but still looks pretty nice. Now technically this is not a new skin, this is actually a new vehicle, quote unquote, in the same category as the Chilling 5A or the Beijing Opera 113. So this was only available on the Chinese server for auction. It is the Gothic Warrior VZ55 with all the Gothic aspirations, but looks pretty nice. We could see it for this year's auction in 2023, but it's okay. You don't need a special crew for this vehicle. You can move your Czech heavy tank crew into this thing and play it like a special tank. So I'll give it a 7.25. It is not as dramatic as a Chilling, but it's a little bit better than the Beijing Opera, right? A little bit better. And here is one of my favorite premium tanks of 2022. It is the ShPTK-TVP 100, practically a T67 or Hellcat at tier 8. So this skin was available for purchase after the marathon, but adds a camouflage netting to the gun barrel, to the back of the crew compartment, and the engine deck, log, machine gun, additional equipments, but I would like a camouflage pattern to the base hull and the gun shield, but looks kinda decent, just without a paint job. So I will give this thing a 8 out of 10. If it had a paint job, it would be like an 8.5, but looks still pretty nice. Surprisingly, the Char Future Project 4 gets a skin this year for holiday ops, when it's usually tier 10s. So I guess this vehicle was the favorite tier 9 for Battle Pass for wargaming, compared to the AE Phase 1, the Kunz Panzer or Object 777 version number 2, or maybe the recent Cobra or Lorraine 50T. This is actually their favorite, so it looks like a modification compared to the AMX 13s. Very nice, but I will give this thing a 8.5 out of 10, especially for the jungle camo on the gun barrel, so 8.5. The Chatillon 155 model 1958, so tier 10 artillery with a skin. Usually you don't see it because if you do see it, it's practically already dead or it's running away. so you only see it if it's on your team, and you don't see it that much. But camouflage pattern for the vehicle hull, the gun barrel, and the back of the turret, so very nice. Additional cranes for storing the ammo into the large crew compartment, but yeah, you don't really see artillery camo that often. But I would give this thing a 8.25 out of 10. It is very nice, especially with the cranes for the ammo, but you don't really see it that often. Special Warhammer skin for the Batchat 25T with fire coming out of the exhaust. Very nice, but it is obviously historically inaccurate for now. But I would like to see more collaboration with different companies for new skin. That will be very nice and healthy for the player base, I think. But bolter for the back of the vehicle hull and decoration as well. So very majestic looking, if you will. But I will rate this thing a 7.75. It is not half bad. The only downside is only available in the premium shop, so kinda limiting for that matter. Battle Pass Season 9 skin for the AMX 13105. Now there's actually 3 skins for the AMX 13 and the Batchat, so they're pretty favorable in wargaming's eyes compared to something like a Romtel Panzerwagen, but that's a whole different story. So additional armor plating for the front of the hull and side skirts, camouflage pattern, smoke grenades, a radar, and spare road wheel. Looks pretty nice. 8.5 out of 10, especially it's practically free from Battle Pass, but there's this skin for Battle Pass, the one from Holiday Ops, and the one reused from the Batchat 25T that got added this year as well. So 3 skins for the AMX 13105. Now I am biased because the Tiger II is one of my favorite vehicles, and this looks like a captured Tiger II with a 50 caliber on top, American-esque of a helmet at the front, and battle damage all the way around. Exploded high explosive round on the side of the hull, and destroy logs, burnt logs, the rust, the grime, the exquisite detail to the Zimmerette, so very nice looking. The only downside is it's not in all yellow paint, the Dunkelgelb, or Dunkelgelb? My German is terrible, but looks pretty nice. If this was an actual model, I would give it like a freaking 11 out of 10. But it is very nice looking, and that is my bias speaking through. But who doesn't love the Tiger II? I mean, it's one of the most feared vehicle there is. So I will give this thing a 8.75 out of 10. Very good, very good. The battle damage E75 skin. The only downside is it doesn't have the Zimmerette as with the Tiger II, but still has a lot of damage to it. A shell casing for the 380mm for the Storm Tiger, right? That's a rocket propelled shell for the Storm Tiger. Pretty fun. And additional equipments and a fuel drum for the back of the vehicle hull, especially for the flamethrower for the Commander Cupola. That's a flamethrower, not an MG34 or 42, but looks still battle damaged compared to the other skins. The only downside is lack of a paint job or the Zimmerette, so I will give this thing a 8.25 out of 10. Still looks pretty nice. Space Marine E100 special collaboration with Warhammer 40k. I could have think of no better candidate as a vehicle for representing Space Marines than a gigantic E100 slapping you with a 150mm high explosive anti-tank round. No other candidate would suit that role of a Giga Chad in a Space Marine-esque of a design, right? Only the E100 could do so, but I would like to see more stuff on the vehicle hull, like a trophy of sorts, like an orc head or something, but that is still pretty nice of a design. And you have a lot of guns everywhere, so yeah, it's gigantic Space Marine in a tank form practically. 7.5 out of 10. Still pretty nice. Only downside is lack a few animations here and there. That would be nice. Or sound effects, but still pretty decent. Battle Pass skin for the Progetto M40, model 1965. Very nice skin. The camouflage pattern as well as the camo nets. The additional machine gun that is somewhat big. Reminds me of yesteryear's large machine gun for the turret. So does take up like half of your reticle space when you're aiming. It is still pretty nice. I mean, it's a lot more realistic compared to the snowmobiles or other crap, right? But that caliber of a machine gun is pretty big for a medium tank, so that is a big machine gun. So this will be a 8.5 out of 10. Very still good looking. The Contracarro Mark III, the Minotauro. So you have the maze for the Minotaur on the pseudo turret, as well as AA guns that are comedically large, representing the horns of the Minotaur, I presume, but there's no actual camo for this vehicle. There's a camouflage net for the back of the vehicle, and large fuel drums, but it looks still pretty decent. Kinda looks like a somewhat of a Minotaur, right? Somewhat. But I do prefer some sort of eyes for the pseudo turret, or something representing the Minotaur, like gigantic horns. Yeah, the AA guns does look like horns now when I think about it, but there's no hooves or special bulky muscles, I guess. But this will be a 8 out of 10. Only downside is lack of a camo, I think. And gun barrel kind of looks bare a little bit, but 8 out of 10. STB or Type 74 Orc Skin, collaboration with Warhammer for Battle Pass Season 8. It looks like a red hot tetanus running around like crazy, but lots of sharp edges and pointed parts for you to get scraped on, and better get a tetanus booster somewhat. But still, it fits the aesthetics. Don't know why they chose the STB for some reason, but alright, I guess. So 7.5 out of 10. I mean, still pretty nice, but historically inaccurate for now. The Battle Pass skin for the 60 TP Lewandowskiego. Always cannot pronounce that, but very comparable to the Holiday Op skin that we just got for last year on the same vehicle. So additional camouflage patterns and more equipments, a motor on the back of the turret. So very similar to the VZ55 but stowed sideways. So very comparable to the Holiday Op skin, but different pattern in terms of camouflage. I will give this thing a... Ooh, it's still pretty good. 8.5 out of 10. So very nice, and it's free from Battle Pass. So very nice. Strv 103B with a rotating radar system and camera that pops up once you're in siege mode. So pretty nice. I always like animations when it comes to legendary skins. So special animations like shell casing, ejections, or smoke grenades firing, machine gun firings, or if you pin the fuel drums, it actually leaks or something like that, or exhaust that comes into fire contact or something. That would be great, but we don't have that. So special animations are very hard to do, so therefore it's pretty nice when we have it. But there's African shields on the side of the vehicle, so don't know if the actual S-tanks made it into Africa or something, but that's pretty nice to think about. It's a 9 out of 10, especially with the animation. Animation just bumps it up. More animation, the higher the score, so very nice. G.I. Joe's Strv S1, meant to look plasticky because it's a toy, especially with the tracks, the road wheels, and the tarp on the upper plate, but I wish we could use the actual rocket launcher in the back, like a Calliope or sorts. That would be great, not even busted, but it's a toy. I mean, aesthetically speaking, it is very well designed, very well. It's a toy. It's plasticky. Wolverine at the back. So I will give this thing I say 6 because it still looks nice but doesn't fit the actual vehicle in terms of a combat thing. I mean, if this thing was an actual toy, it would be like a 10 out of 10. I would love to have it as a kid. But for an actual tank, 6 out of 10. Still very nice looking. Cobra! M54 Renegade. Why the hell did they choose American tank for the Cobra Commander and chose a Swedish vehicle for the G.I. Joes? Alright, but stickers looks nice. It's plasticky as well, so not as well designed as the S tank in my opinion, but still decent. Especially the stickers, they really stand out. So I will give this thing a maybe 5.5 out of 10. It's alright. I would like the rocket launcher thing more, but don't know why the hell they chose American tank for the Cobra Commander. Alright. Special animated skin for the Super Conqueror that comes with a health bar on the back of the turret, like Dead Space or the recent Callisto Protocol. That was super disappointing, mostly. It has furniture for the vehicle hull, as well as the steampunk design, as you guys mentioned. But yeah, health bar on the back of your turret that can see how much you're getting pinned by gold shell, practically. Alright. Looks more like the Warhammer collaboration design-esque. Still decent, but not as fancy as the animation with the S-Tank, in my opinion. So, kind of futuristic or steampunkish, like you guys mentioned. So I will give it a, maybe 7.75. It's not that much. So the animation does carry, but 7.75. I love this skin. It is the Swordfish for the M5 It has the iconic shark head or shark teeth that could be found on some P-51 Mustangs or Spitfires, old planes that has this paint job. But this skin is actually free with a mini marathon post summer. So you could have gotten it for free, but it looks very nice with large toolboxes, spare road wheels and fuel drums, equipments at the back of the turret, large machine gun on top, and large smoke canisters. So very nice, and it's free. So 9 out of 10. So usually, I don't know why Wargaming charge so much for a skin, but tier 10 skins are about like what, 3,000 gold? So this thing is free, it gets a higher score, 9 out of 10. Doom Turtle skin that is not free. You could have gotten this from the auction after summer, but why couldn't we gotten this for free? It has a progressive decal or changing decal of a pinup on the port side of the vehicle, but it doesn't show up if you don't have the skin. You have to pay like what? Like 5,000 gold in auction for this thing? So yeah, kind of not worth. Why wasn't it free? You plastered it on the summer events like preview page, but it's not free and doesn't show the menacing power of the Doom Turtle. Not really. It's like a freaking island by itself, but it's not that menacing. So 4 out of 10. Yeah, 4 out of 10. And another, not really a skin vehicle. It's actually a new vehicle. The Peregrine IS-3A. So it's like with the Scorpion G to the Scorpion, or the Alpine Tiger to the WZ-111. It has a different vehicle slot practically, so not exactly a skin, but it's more in line with the Alpine Tiger when I think about it, because of the ridges, the texture work with the decals and stuff. So it's not exactly a 2D skin, but it's a little bit more sophisticated, I guess. Don't know about the color scheme with green and yellow. Would be nicer if it was like what, black and yellow or sorts, but okay. Why wouldn't they chose a bear to represent Russia or something, but whatever. It's like a 7 out of 10. It's alright, but we already have the IS-3A, so 7 out of 10. Plague Lord, Nurgles, Object 430U. Practically germ or plague on a vehicle. It's COVID of a tank, practically. Looks grimy, nasty looking, which is great of a design, with goo and drip seeping out everywhere. So still fits the aesthetics of Warhammer stuff. So yeah, grimy. Also could remind you of a Bane design from Batman or something, I don't know. But pumping out noxious goo and pus and pimples. Yeah, pretty nasty looking. So 7.5 out of 10. They're all about the same for Warhammer stuff, so 7.5 out of 10. And the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop, as Macho Man Randy Savage would say, it is the Verana skin for the Object 780. It comes with your specialized serial number. Mine is 1445. There's no other tank that has that number. It is my tank, because that's the number I got after spending a bunch of bonds and freaking free XP in the assembly shop. ASAP. But that is my number. There's so much personality to this vehicle, and it's not one-dimensional. It changes camo based on the map you're fighting in. So there's actually 3 camo for this vehicle. It is dynamic. It is pretty good compared to the base model. Ew, basic. 780s. What are you? Some kind of brokey? I love this skin. I would give it a 11 out of 10 if there were animation to it, but it is still very good. It's a 10 out of 10. And what I mean by the camo is, if you go on a desert map or winter map, it changes camo. None of the other tanks does that. None of the other tanks. It has 3 different camos, but it also has the 3D styles and your personalized serial number. It's great. 10 out of 10, no question about it. Now technically, there's a 2D style for the Gonzalo that they consider as a 3D style. So it's called Mini Faces. And they changed the decal for the eyes, the mouth, the arms, whatever. So it changes differently based on each battle. And you can search it up. It looks different based on different maps and different battles. But it's whatever. So I don't have the vehicle. Never wasted that much free XP after the 780. So I only rated it at, I would say, 3 out of 10. It's a decal that changes. Fine, but it's not a 3D style, it's a 2D style. Technicality, whatever. I don't have the vehicle. It's also bugged on the actual script that I tried to. It's also bugged. I can't even see it. It's, yeah, can't even preview. See, you can't even preview it. Ah. And finally, because of the war in Ukraine, Wargaming has removed the white V on the turret for the Kelevra skin on the Object 430U. So for obvious reason, they removed the white V. It is originally right there. And because of that, you would receive this email if you already had the skin. So you will get a 500 gold compensation for that skin or for that V. But that was practically it. And there you have it, folks. All the new skins, addendum to the ones I already covered from the last video. So we are all caught up. And we'll do this again for next year. But until that time comes, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching. It's funny that some vehicles have like 2 or 3 skins already, and some are neglected by Wargaming, like the Romantel Panzerwagen, for instance. Nobody likes that vehicle. Nobody likes that vehicle. So we'll see what happens for next year. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.